What is there to learn from pre-Islamic Arabia? For me personally, this is one of the reasons I'm so interested. I come across these names in the Seerah and I had no idea about who these people were. The Prophet, peace be upon him, in Al-Bukhari tells Adi bin Hatim, if you live long enough, you will live to see a woman travel from Al-Hira to the Kaaba, to circumambulate it, and not fear anyone but Allah. Adi said, so I said in my heart, but what about the raiders of Tay that had spread across the land? This is a fulfilled prophecy, by the way. But why is it significant? Why did Adi specifically mention Tay? What did the Prophet specifically mean when he mentioned Al-Hira? The answers to these questions will be provided in this series. When Umayyah bin Khalaf was killed in the Battle of Badr, why was Abdurrahman bin Auf so upset? Isn't it strange that Abdurrahman bin Auf wanted this major enemy of Islam to stay alive? Without understanding Jahiliyyah, a chunk of the Seerah is hard to understand. And even when it is understood, we often don't understand the significance of it. Ibn Ishaq mentions that before the Prophet, peace be upon him, went to Hijrah, he approached Banu Amr with his message, but it didn't work out. Most of us have never even heard of Banu Amr, and when we just come across the name of the tribe in a page, it just means nothing to you. It's just a name. But when you know the history of Banu Amr, when you come across what Ibn Ishaq had mentioned, then you put your hands on your head in shock. For many people, it would simply be a matter of curiosity about this era that not so many people know much about. The most famous thing about Jahiliyyah is that people worship multiple gods, and this was something that ended when Islam emerged. For some, it could be that learning about Jahiliyyah played a role in their appreciation for Islam, since Islam not only influenced matters to do with paganism alone, but it had a major effect on many aspects of the culture. Regardless of your reasons, you should be aware that Jahiliyyah history is fascinating, especially matters that have to do with the wars between the tribes. And in this series, the major wars will be covered. For those that have studied the Seerah thoroughly, you'll even notice some names in pre-Islamic history wars making their first appearance in history. However, despite that being the case, so much of what you'll be hearing in this series, you'll be coming across for the very first time. Apart from the wars, I'll be providing you with a slice of life of pre-Islamic times in the beginning of the series in order to get a better idea of the historical context and how Arabs lived their lives. This will also cover aspects of Bedouin life, as well as the lives of city dwellers, their businesses, their food, their customs, their beliefs, their poetry, and so on. The first episode isn't going to be too convoluted, but later on in the series, when we get to the wars, you'll be coming across a lot of names that you'll be hearing for the first time. To make things easier for you to follow, I've included an index with almost all the names that are mentioned in the series, with a very brief biography. Mainly letting you know which tribe they're from in order for you not to get lost. The course also has a tribes tree in order for you to understand the relationship between these tribes. This should be useful to you. I find myself often returning to the tree, returning to the maps that I've made in order for you to know where these tribes are located, where these cities are located, where these towns, where these battles are located. My intention is for this course to be beneficial and efficient, and if each battle was mentioned in detail, it would be a 100-hour course. So I'm mainly providing you information about the most important battles and the ones that have important lessons in order for us to learn more about Jahiliyyah and pre-Islamic life.